My name is John Joe O'Farrell, and I am the Director of International Engagement at ATU Galway-Mayo, where I'm hoping all of you will be coming to study in a couple of weeks. Yes, so what is the purpose of today's session? Well, you have all made the good decision, the really good decision to apply to join Atlantic Technological University. And that's something that I'm very glad that you've made that decision. And we want to try and, I suppose, provide you with a smooth transition from life in your home country to life in Ireland. And we obviously are cognizant of the fact that that can be complicated. It's not easy to move from a different country. So I suppose we're here to first and foremost tell you that we are going to try and support you on that journey as best we can. And we have prepared this presentation in order to, provide you with information that hopefully will make everything a little bit easier for you. And of course, we will continue to support you over the next number of weeks as you transition and start your studies here in either Galway or Mayo. And as I said, you can put in questions that you may have into the chat, and we'll try and address them along the way. So let's start the exploration now on the start of your student journey to Atlantic Technological University. So first of all, I always feel, as an Irish person, I always feel it's important to put a face to a name, as we say. And I'm hoping that you will have met some of my colleagues already who have been supporting you via email or chat online. And they will play a very important role in your onboarding to our university. So just to introduce you to each member of the team that you will be meeting. So first of all, John Andy Bonner is the Vice President with responsibility for internationalization across the entire Atlantic Technological University. And you'll get to meet him at some stage when you arrive. We will be having some events, and you'll meet him at some of those events. I'm beside John Andy, that's me, a younger looking version of myself. Then you have George Guadalupe, and George will be talking to you later on in this presentation. And George is currently our Erasmus and Exchange Officer. Elaine Good will also be talking to you later in the presentation. And Elaine is our International Officer, mainly dealing with our non-European students and heavily involved in the admissions process. Noreen King is our Student Support Officer. She's not available today for this meeting, but you will meet her at some stage, during your first term here. And then, of course, we have Gabriella and Lee, who are our two senior international student ambassadors, who have done the majority of the work preparing for today's presentation. So I'd like to thank them for their efforts to compile the different information for this presentation. And they will be talking to you as well throughout the presentation and throughout the first couple of weeks. So thank you, Gabriella and Lee. So again, you can't dislocate, place from studying overseas. So it's important for you to be familiar with where you're coming to. And this is Galway City. It's one of the most vibrant cities in Ireland, and certainly famous along the west coast, which is known as the Wild Atlantic Way, and well known for its rich culture, history, vibrant atmosphere, and festivals. There's no other part of Ireland or city in Ireland that hosts more festivals and international festivals than Galway City. It really is a dynamic, buzzing place and a melting pot, really, for cultural diversity. And some of the pictures there on the slide really kind of depict the beauty of the natural landscape within Galway City, and some nearby locations. Salt Hill, you can see there, in Blackrock Diving Tower. It's a really beautiful place out in Salt Hill, about maybe 15-minute walk outside of the city. Very popular with tourists, very popular with people living here and locals. And I'm hoping you'll get to experience that as well when you come here. And the Cliffs of Moher then is probably one of the most famous tourist sites and landscapes in Ireland. And I'm sure all of you will get a chance to see it during your time in Ireland. And some of you, if you're fortunate enough to have got a ticket, may have the opportunity to go there with the International Society on the 9th of September, if you're lucky enough to get a ticket. And my colleagues will mention that again later in the presentation. But yeah, Galway really is a truly beautiful place. And you can see on the map of Ireland here that yes, Ireland is a small place divided into lots of different territories and counties, as we call them. You can see there that we have two sections to Ireland as well. We have Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland. And you can see Northern Ireland is depicted by the red line at the top, which I suppose partitions 6 counties within the north of Ireland that are still remain part of the United Kingdom. And again, there are some really popular places within Northern Ireland to visit, including Belfast, which is the capital, and a lot of our international students like to go there. Just some more attractions for you to see in Galway City. Ayr Square is like the central part of the city where lots of people hang out. It's a very popular part of the city, and there's a nice green area there, and there's seats there, and you can hang out in the grass. That's when it's not raining, as we do get a lot of rain in Ireland, so you need to prepare for that, both physically and mentally. But we do have some good weather as well, and people like to explore and to utilize the outdoors when we get that good weather. Pizza, as you can see there, we've got some really a kind of popular and famous cuisine restaurants and takeaways in Galway City. We're known for our food. It's known as a city of food and gastronomy. So I'm sure you'll get to experience that while you're here. And of course, music. You can't talk about Ireland and you can't talk about Irish culture without talking about our deep connection with music. And that music very much comes to life on the streets of Galway City, where you will see impromptu music sessions, at maybe 3-4 o'clock in the day, and people just hang around, and it becomes like a big kind of a party festival atmosphere. So that's something that's interesting, and you'll get to explore some of this hopefully during the treasure hunt, which will be mentioned later. Connemara again is a beautiful location out on the very, very tip of the west of Ireland, and Connemara is home to our Connemara campus, which is in Letterfrack. In relation to Galway City, I forgot to mention that we have 2 campuses in Galway City, our School of Design and Creative Arts, and a more kind of a comprehensive campus which offers science, engineering, business, humanities, social sciences. And in Connemara, we've got 1 campus there which is known as the National Centre for Furniture Design, and the National Centre of Excellence for Furniture Design. And yes, it's a kind of a unique area, but we have some really bespoke programs there that attract people from all over the world. And there is no more picturesque location to study than Connemara in Ireland. It really is probably one of the most picturesque places in Ireland. It's so tranquil and peaceful and just so beautiful. And you've got Connemara National Park there, which is really popular with tourists, and you've got Kylemore Abbey, which has a really long and interesting history, which I don't want to spoil it on you, but I very much encourage you to explore that. And they've got really beautiful gardens around the buildings, and that's something that everybody has to see in the west of Ireland, and very fortunate for those people who will actually be studying one of our furniture design programs. Our next location then is in Mayo. Again, another beautiful location on the west of Ireland, and known by many as the outdoor adventure capital of Ireland. It really is an exciting place to explore the outdoors, and it's no coincidence that this is also the home for our outdoor education program, which is one of the most unique programs in the country of Ireland. And a program like that, cannot be run, without having a conducive and beautiful environment with really picturesque outdoors and access to beaches and water activities, because it's key to that program. And this is something that we're very proud of. And our campus is in Castlebar, because Mayo is a big place, but Castlebar is the home of our campus. And then, within Mayo, some other places that are worth noting are Croagh-Patrick, which is close to Westport, a very famous tourist destination within Mayo itself. And Croagh-Patrick, you can see in the picture there, has got that beautiful mountain that people climb every year. And people come from all over Ireland to climb Croagh-Patrick. About 1 million people climb Croagh-Patrick as a pilgrimage every year, because this was where St. Patrick supposedly banished the snakes from Ireland and paganism. So for many, it's seen as an important pilgrimage every year. But many people also just climb it because it's a really beautiful thing to do, and a healthy thing to do. And you get to the top and you take your picture and you share it with all your friends on social media, and you'll get lots of likes with such a stunning view, as is from the top of Croagh-Patrick. And Achill Island is not far away as well. But what you'll notice is there's a reoccurring theme here. Everywhere in the west of Ireland is worth exploring and is really picturesque and really beautiful, and like the rest of Ireland, very welcoming for international people. So that's important to say. And just before I just go into this slide, the other thing to note as well is that we consider ourselves to be a very inclusive university. So equality, inclusion, diversity, those are things that we actively celebrate across the university. And I hope that you will get to experience that when you come here, through everyday life, in the classroom, outside the classroom, and in our cities. We can't control everything. The world is it's a free place, So yes, there may be a time when you come across a negative situation or a scenario that isn't what we would expect it to be, not to the standard that we would like. We can't control everybody, especially outside the university, but we do our best to try and provide you with a supportive environment and a welcoming environment, but also a very much respectful and inclusive environment. And you'll see a number of new initiatives that we will be rolling out throughout the year to ensure that people feel valued and welcome and respected in our university, regardless of your background, regardless of your ethnicity, regardless of your religion, regardless of your sexual orientation. We want everyone to feel welcome in this university, and we really hope that you have a positive experience and that you witness that welcome that we're trying to offer you. In Ireland, we say Céad Míle Fáilte, and Céad Míle Fáilte translates to mean 100,000 welcomes. And we will do all in our power to try and make sure that you have that kind of warm welcome and feeling. And if you do not feel that you got that welcome, if you feel that you have problems or you have identified issues, we're very much open to discussing those with you, because we want to try and improve the welcome, and we want to improve the experience for everybody here. And it's an ongoing process. Not everything is going to be perfect at university, but we're here to try and see, can we learn and improve things and improve our processes to make sure that everybody is happy, content, and very much feels welcome. Just want to give you now a brief introduction to the background of ATU, Atlantic Technological University, so that you can understand where did we come from. Because ATU is a relatively new university, only formed on the 1st of April 2022. However, we have a long history in education. As a government-funded institution, we were set up by the government in 1972. But at that time, we had a different name. And our name changed a couple of times, throughout our journey to becoming a technological university. We have merged with 2 other colleges as well that also had different names. You don't need to know what those names are, but in case any of you are interested, in Letterkenny, in Donegal, we had an institution that was called Letterkenny Institute of Technology. In Sligo, we had an institution called Sligo Institute of Technology. And in Galway-Mayo, we had an institute known as Galway-Mayo Institute of Technology. They worked over a 10-year period to integrate their services and their teaching provision to be officially designated a technological university in April 2022. So this is the university. We're very much one university, one region, which is the northwest region of Ireland, and very much one family. and we will now consider you all part of the ATU family once you arrive in Ireland. Um, Now to get back to, I suppose, to Galway City and to Mayo, where you'll be studying. Galway is a relatively small place. Everywhere in Ireland is a relatively small place in comparison to many places overseas where you come from. Like Ireland has a population of about maybe 5 million people, or just over 5 million people. And Galway City, probably has a population of somewhere between 85 to 90,000 people. It keeps growing, so it's hard to keep track of the number because our census only takes place every couple of years. And then the Greater Galway region is probably a population of 250,000 people. So for anybody that comes from a city with 1 million people or 2 million people, yes, this is going to be a very, very different kind of experience for you. But don't be concerned, because we can assure you that all of the services that you need, all of the facilities that you need access to, you will be able to access all of them on the west of Ireland. So don't be concerned about that. Accessing restaurants, accessing gyms, that will be easy. We're a very developed society, and our cities have really developed infrastructure to support you and to ensure you have a positive experience here. We have been known as the capital of culture in Galway before. We've been known as the European capital of culture. We've been voted one of the friendliest cities in the world. And again, that's something we hope that you experience during your time here. I'm not going to go through all of this because there's too much information. Just back a slide, yep. But just so you can see some of the key data and statistics, we are a large university. We've got 9 campuses. We've got over 26,000 students. We have 10 research centres, over 690 undergraduate programs. We've got a whole range of academic disciplines, from science, engineering, social science, humanities, anything that you can think of, psychology. We have nearly every discipline across the university. So there really is something for everybody to choose from. We have probably more students completing undergraduate programs than postgraduate programs, but the university is building its capacity in the postgrad space, and we hope to have many more postgraduate students in the future. And of course, as a technological university, research is really important to us. So very much applied research is important, research that we feel is going to help local companies and multinational companies to enhance their innovation capacity. That's something that's important, and our research, plays a key role in that. So that is something that we are proud of. And again, if you look at our the fabric of our research community, nearly the majority of our research students are international, and that's something that we're very proud of, and something that we feel makes our university unique. Sustainability is also really important for everybody today. But it's important across our university to see what we can do to support our region in terms of its transition to green energy and to efficient energy. And yes, it's going to be a very much a long journey to transition, especially to a carbon neutral university and city, but we're going to make our contribution and do the best we can to help in that regard. And we have a number of initiatives that are designed, to contribute to this initiative, including our EU-European Alliance. So it's our EU Green European University Alliance, and they have a range of activities that are being organised to help that. We also have a dedicated sustainability centre that is leading activities, and as well a number of our programs. The majority of our programs have aligned to the European, to the United Nations SDGs. That's the Sustainable Development Goals. So we are working hard to do as much as we can, and we will be asking you to play your part as well to try and help us. And even simple things like single-use cups in the canteen. We will be asking people not to use those, and we'll be asking you to use your water bottles to refill them using the water stations on campus. So we can all play our part. It may seem small, on an individual level, but when we combine all of the activities and initiatives, it does make a difference. So that's something that we feel will be important during your time here. And sustainability is going to affect everybody, the whole world. We have to play our part.
Hi everyone. It's great to see so many people on the call this morning. Um, so um, we're getting very close to September now, and we hope to see you all here in the next few weeks. So just before you start making your plans to arrive, there's just some important information and important steps that you need to follow. So uh, back in June, we sent out an arrival form or survey for everyone to complete. I think most people have completed it now, but for anyone that hasn't, it's very important that you complete it as soon as possible, because this will help us to prepare for your arrival, and it's also a means for you to book an airport pickup from the airport if you want, if you wish to avail of that. Also, I'll talk more about it in a minute, but we have also for anyone that needs a visa or is in the process of applying for their visa, there's another survey that you'll need to complete now. So we've just set that up. So we'll just ask you to complete that shortly. So I'll come back to that in a minute. So just a couple of things that needs to be done now before you arrive. So just for anyone who hasn't paid their full tuition fees yet, if you can please pay the balance of your tuition fees as soon as possible, and before you arrive in Ireland. So if anyone has any outstanding documentation, such as high school transcripts or English language certificates or anything like that, it's very important if you could send those on to us as soon as possible, because we cannot release your unconditional offer letter to you until we've received all your documents and you've paid all your tuition fees. So just in also, if you can ensure that you read all the pre-arrival information, if you can just have a look at the pre-arrival website or the pre-arrival section of our website. There's lots of important information there, and we are updating that page regularly. So the link is there on the presentation, and we've sent it out a couple of times over the last few months. So just have a look at that before you make your plans to arrive in Ireland. Also, our student ambassadors, so Gabriella and Lee, have prepared information packs for you for students arriving in Galway and Mayo. So there's lots of important information there that you can have a look at. So the links are included in this presentation also, just further on in the presentation. So that will give you important information just about different things like immigration appointments, setting up bank accounts, etc. So you can review all that information also. So just one last thing, actually, one more very important thing: accommodation. So it's very important that everyone has booked accommodation before you book your flights and you arrive into Ireland. So I know a lot of you have booked into the student villages in Glasson Student Village and Curtin and Rossi. Some of you, I think, are working on booking your own accommodation, so it's just really important you have something booked, even temporary, if you're planning to arrive, planning to kind of look for something more long-term when you arrive in Ireland. So the survey that we sent out a few months ago, there was a question about that, if you needed help to book accommodation, and most people that completed that, well, there were some people that indicated that they did need help, and I was in contact with those people. So if you haven't completed that survey, it is really important that you complete that as soon as possible. So just when you are packing your bags and your documentation to bring with you on your flight. So it's very important just to ensure that you have your documents in your hand luggage and not in your checked in luggage on the flight, just in case it goes missing. So just ensure you have your passport with the visa page in it, if it's a printed document. So just make sure you have that in your hand luggage. Also, please bring your ATU unconditional offer letter. Anyone that is under the age of 18, you need to show that you have some kind of proof that you have guardianship in place. Have your flight ticket, your boarding pass. You need to make sure also that you have your medical insurance or some kind of proof that you have your medical insurance in place. And I believe that you need to book with an Irish provider. So we have a link on our website as well just about that, and we have a number of different insurance companies in Ireland that will provide medical insurance to students. Also, just have some form of proof that you have accommodation booked. So you might have a tenancy agreement or some kind of letter or something like that. Anything that you can show the immigration officer at the airport when you arrive if they look for some kind of proof. Also, just have your tuition fee receipts that you would have received from ATU, or if anyone paid through Flywire, you would have gotten your receipt directly from Flywire. So just make sure you bring a printed copy of those. And also might be a good idea to just have some cash, some euro, just in case. So that's a good idea. Okay, so just I mentioned there just about visas. So this is only relevant to students that need visas to come to Ireland. So students from countries such as Malaysia, the US, Canada, or Brazil, this isn't applicable to yourselves. But for anyone that does need a visa, we need to know what the status of your visa application is. So you can see the QR code there, just there on the slide there. So if everyone could just scan that QR code and fill in the form there. So we need an update to see where you are with your visa application. We need to know, like, if you've submitted your documents, if you've gone to your appointment, and kind of when you expect to know the outcome, because we can only, for anyone that thinks they might arrive late, we can only allow you to arrive up to 2 weeks after the start date of classes. So most of you will start your classes on the 16th of September. So we can only allow students to arrive up to 2 weeks after that. So if you can just complete the survey, and then we can review your request if you think you might need an extension letter to allow you to arrive late. And then we will, if we think you've, applied early, early enough for your visa, then we'll give you an extension letter. And then that's very important then that you send that on to the visa office. So if you were late applying for your visa, or if there was a delay or anything like that, then and the visa office are processing your visa application quite late, and if there's no extension letter, then they may decide to automatically just cancel your visa application. So it's really important that you complete the form by scanning the QR code, and if you could do that today, and then we can give you, we'll try and give you your letter as soon as possible. So just we can't allow anyone to arrive after the 30th of September. We're very strict with that date, and really we can't kind of after that date. It's very late to start classes, and you would have missed quite a lot of learning by that time. So yeah, so it's not really possible for us to give any further extension after that. No worries. So just on accommodation, so I briefly mentioned this already. So We have allocations mainly with two campus student villages in Galway City, Glasson Student Village and Courtnarossi. So a lot of the students, a lot of you who are studying in the either of the main Galway City campuses, you've booked in there already. We do still have some a small number of places available. So if anyone is looking for accommodation, please get in touch and we'll try and help you book accommodation, and I can send you on information about rates and that kind of thing. But you will need to book as soon as possible because we only have a very small number of places left. For anyone who wants to kind of go out and source their own accommodation, if you're kind of having trouble with that or having some difficulty, I've just included the web links there for the accommodation webinar that we held back in June, and also there's a PDF there with the slides from the presentation also. So yeah, if anyone has any questions about accommodation or needs any help, please do get in touch. Also, there's a couple of web links there just for different websites that you can use to look, such as daft, rent.ie, property.ie, hosting power, and Facebook groups such as Galway House Hunting. So just out of those ones, hosting power is a very good option, just if you're going looking for your own accommodation, because hosting power, they will go out and vet the properties themselves before kind of posting them on their website. So there's kind of added security for that, but I believe there is you need to kind of pay for that service if you're going to book some accommodation through hosting power. So but it kind of does offer kind of more security. So I suppose just for anyone who is booking their own accommodation themselves, just be kind of careful and mindful, just of any kind of scams, and I suppose if you see accommodation that looks suspiciously very cheap, or if there's anything like that, just be careful, because I suppose if it seems too good to be true, it usually is, and it's a good idea, I suppose, to visit the property, maybe do a video call, but it's probably not, it really wouldn't be a good idea to make any payments for accommodation before actually physically visiting the property and kind of meeting the landlord or someone in person. We have had students run into that problem before and been scammed, so just be really, really careful. And just also to note, those websites, daft, rent, property.ie, hosting.ie, and those Facebook groups, we don't vet those properties, so we're only just kind of suggesting them to you, as they are kind of well-known websites in Ireland for looking for accommodation. Okay, so we'll just talk about immigration appointments. So we'll talk about this more as well at our induction on the 10th of September. So hopefully everyone will be here for the 10th of September. But if not, we will be in touch with you by email anyways, just in relation to immigration appointments once you arrive in Ireland, and you'll get all communication about that. But just to kind of give you an idea or an overview of what to expect. So everyone, all non-EU students, when they arrive into Ireland, they will need to register at the local immigration office. So that includes both students that need a visa to come to Ireland and students that don't need a visa. So you need a couple of documents that you you need to bring a couple of documents with you to complete the registration process. So those include a letter from our office to confirm that you're fully registered for the academic year and that you have paid your tuition fees. So it's very important at the moment to send us all your send us any outstanding documents and pay your tuition fees. because we can't register you until we've received all outstanding documents and fees from you. So you'll also need to bring your passport, proof of address in Ireland. So you need to get some kind of like maybe a utility bill or a letter from your landlord, or a copy of your tenancy agreement, something like that. You also need to show proof of medical insurance. And last year, a couple of students did run into problems because they got medical insurance from their home country, and that seems to have changed now. So the Immigration Office are looking for medical insurance from an Irish provider. So as I mentioned already, we do have a list of some suggested medical insurance companies in Ireland that you can get insurance from. On the day, you'll also need to pay €300 registration fee, and you'll need to use your actual physical card to pay. So you can't pay or do contactless, on your phone or that kind of thing. So it needs to be like chip and pin. So you need to bring your physical Visa or MasterCard with you. And also very important for any students that didn't need a visa to come to Ireland, you need to bring a bank statement to show that you've evidence of at least €4,500, to kind of support you, for your living costs while you're in Ireland for the year. So that's only applicable to students that didn't need a visa. So for anyone that did need a visa or does need a visa to come into the country, your finances have already been checked. So you don't need to show evidence of any funds again. So just anyone from a non-visa required country. So once you get your IRP card, and actually it will be posted out to you. So once you've attended your appointment and you've paid the €300 fee, the card will be posted out to you to your Irish address. It'll take about 3 weeks. And that's very important then that you bring your card with you at all times. Your IRP card is like your visa, your re-entry visa, if you leave the country and you want to come back in. So let's say if you wanted to go abroad for holiday or go back to your home country during the holiday period, your IRP card acts as your re-entry visa. And you don't need to apply for a new visa to come in and out of Ireland. So and then just for anyone who's thinking about traveling around Europe or the UK, just during, I suppose, the holiday period, outside of kind of term time, or just during any Christmas or Easter breaks or anything like that, just to note that Ireland is not in the Schengen area, so Schengen visas or Schengen traveller visas are not valid, and you would usually need to apply kind of for a separate visa to travel to that country. So like if you're registered and you have your IRP card for Ireland, that's not really valid in any other countries in Europe. So you need to apply kind of for a visa for that particular country, or for a Schengen visa. So just to note, actually, just the immigration appointments, at the moment, we're still trying to confirm the exact dates of our appointments, but we will expect to have some appointments in the 3rd week of October. And we will contact all students once we have the appointment dates in place. We will send students out a booking link, so you can book your appointment slot at your preferred date and time. The immigration office is located in the police station, which is directly across the road from the ATU and the main Galway City campus. So for most of you, you will be on that campus, and it's just a quick walk just across the road. And then for anyone else, it might take a bit longer. So for anyone that's based in our Letterfrack campus, you would need to come up to Galway for just to get a bus up to Galway and to attend your appointment. For anyone based in Mayo. So I know a couple of students are based at our Mayo campus. You would need to attend an appointment at the police station in Castlebar in Mayo. And we can try and arrange, we can try and help you with that, but it's it'll be kind of a different system to this, but you will need to bring the same documents and that kind of thing. But we can help you. We can provide you with the email address, and you just need to contact the send them an email, and they'll get back to you usually pretty quickly and give you a particular time slot on a particular day.
So this will be the info pack for this year, and then this guide will include everything you need to know, such as what to do before coming to Ireland, like the checklist, and then what do you have to prepare, and then once you arrive in Ireland, what do you have to do, where you need to go, some shops in Galway or Mayo. So you can scan the QR code in this slide, or you can download from our pre-arrival website. And then, yeah, this is very important, is do not travel to Ireland without your laptop. So you will definitely need a laptop, as you will need to do many like projects, and then you will definitely need a laptop to do it, as it will be handy to work from anywhere, not just at the campus. And then most of our study material will be online, and you have to download it, and then you have to read it. All is from website, so it'll be very handy if you have a laptop. And yeah, definitely bring your own device before you came to Ireland.
Hello, everyone. So about health here in ATU, so we do have a doctor in ATU for you. So if you need a doctor, if anything happens while you are on campus, we have a doctor here and a nurse on site to help you with it. But if you have any issues, for example, weekends, at night, or anything that wasn't during your class or wasn't during the class time, you might need to go to a GP outside campus. So don't understand that this is us telling you to not need a GP, that will be having a doctor for you, because this is only for anything that happens during your classes, during your time on campus. Okay, so if you require, for example, if you need to take any medicines that you require a prescription, you might need a GP in Ireland to be able to issue this prescription for you. Our doctor in ATU won't be able to do that. So I recommend you to, as soon as you arrive here, or even earlier than that, to start looking for a GP. It's not really straightforward to get a GP. Sometimes you need 1 to 2 months to be able to register with one. So as soon as we start looking, as better is for you. And about the health unit we have on campus, we have a nurse on site from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday to Thursday, and 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Friday. And we have a doctor from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Monday to Thursday. Okay, the doctor is not available on Friday. So if you need anything here, you have this to help you. And they don't attend just like, you can't just go there. You need to book an appointment. Or if it's a real emergency, for example, if you are a science student and anything happened during your lab, then it's an emergency, they will help you straight away. Okay, that's different. Yeah, so about the online registration, I think that's the most important thing, and you will all be worrying about these now. So we didn't send the emails to you yet to register, okay? We will be sending these emails to you by the end of the month. So by the 30th of August, you will have this email. Our email will have your, we call G number, so it's your student ID, will be always G00 and then 6 digits, plus a password, okay? This password is usually your date of birth, and we will be giving this information to you so you can know how easy. It's 2 days, 2 months, and 4 digits for the year. Once you receive this email from us, you just click on the link that we will send, and then you just, you will see this screen that you have the screenshot there, and then you just go to unregistered students, as you can see below there, and then we will ask you for your G00, so your student ID will be in the email, and your password, so it will be your date of birth. If you have any issues saying your password is wrong or something like that, your date of birth might be wrong in our system. So in this case, you don't need to worry, you just need to email us, just informing that you tried to log in and it was saying that your password was wrong. So we can double check your date of birth and double check in our system, okay? Once you do that, the system will ask you to upload a photo, and you will see some requirements there about how the photo needs to look like. It's like when you are going to do your passport, okay? You have minimum requirements that you need to meet. So please make sure you follow those requirements. Our system, unfortunately, won't tell you that the photo is wrong, okay? The system will accept any photo. But the disadvantage of not following the instructions is you won't receive your student card at the end of September because your photo will be rejected, and you will only know this after our student cards has been printed. So once all your colleagues receive their student cards and then you realize that you didn't receive the student card, then will be the only time you will notice and we will notice that your photo has been rejected. And then we will need to take another photo, upload another photo, and then you need to wait for 1-2 weeks more to get your student ID. So just to avoid this issue, just make sure you follow the instructions and upload the correct photo there, okay? We will also ask you to confirm your information and also your address. So if you already have your address in Ireland confirmed, please update your address in the system and change, because for most of you, the address that will be there will be your home country. So if you know your address in Ireland already, please include there, because after a few weeks, you will need to request a letter for us to go to do your RP card, as my colleague Elaine explained to you. And once you do that, we need your Irish address. So if you know already, update, and you avoid needing to email us with the address to update at a later stage. It's very straightforward. Like, you have all the instructions, you just need to follow. We will be sending you a video to show how it works. But in case you have any questions that the video is not answering or our email is not answering, please just email us. We'll be happy to help you, okay? So arrival at Dublin Airport. Okay. Once you arrive at Dublin Airport, here in this meeting, we have EU students that are coming most likely to Erasmus, and we have non-EU students, will be most of you. So once you arrive in the airport, you will see 2 queues. You will see one saying EU, Switzerland, and you will see another one that's called non-EU. So if you are an EU citizen, a French, Italian, Spanish person, you just follow the EU queue. It's very straightforward. You have 2 options in this case. You can scan your passport in the machines and then you go straight, or you can go directly to the immigration officers that will be there. They will just ask you, what are you coming to do in Ireland? And you just say that you are coming for Erasmus or exchange for semester or a year long. If you are non-EU students, you just join the non-EU queue, which probably will be the biggest queue, unfortunately. But once you go to the immigration officer, he will be asking you a few questions. For example, the first question he'll be asking you is, what are you coming to do in Ireland if you don't require a visa? Because if you require a visa, he will see your visa straight away in your passport, so he will ask less questions. But if you do not require a visa, for example, if you are from Brazil, most of countries in South America or North America, they will ask you, what are you coming to do? And it's very important for you to say that you are coming to study. Otherwise, the immigration officer might register you as a tourist. And if they do that, you will be able to come in without any problems. But in October, once you go to Garda to do your RP card, you won't be able, you will be rejected because you have been registered as a tourist. And in this case, you need to leave the country and come back again. Of course, you don't need to go back to your home country, but you need to go to UK, Spain, you need to go to any other country and then come back to be able to register correctly, because Garda cannot change your first record that is done in the airport. So please make sure it's clear for the immigration officer that you are coming to study. They will ask you a few documents. Elaine already explained this part, but I will tell you again. So some of the documents will be your acceptance letter from us. In this case, must be your unconditional offer letter. So if you still have a conditional offer letter from us, it means that something is pending. Can be a document or can be a payment. So you need to provide whatever it's pending to receive the unconditional offer letter before you arrive in Ireland. The immigration officer at the airport won't accept the conditional offer letter. They will reject, they won't allow you to come in the country. So make sure you have the unconditional offer letter, and all of you, if not, yeah, all of you will have both letters, because you first got the conditional and then the unconditional. So make sure you print the correct one, so you don't bring the wrong letter, okay? You will also need your passport, and they might ask you for proof of accommodation. So in this case, can be the agreement, or if you are saying the student accommodation, it's just a letter that they will give you. And in some cases, they might also request to show that you have proof of like financial proof. So they might ask you to show your bank statement or something like that. Because you are just arriving in the country, in this case, it's not required that you have a bank account in euro, okay? You can show your bank account, must be in your name, but you can show the bank account from your own country, okay? Once you go to Garda, then it's different. You need to be in euro because you'll be here already like for more than a month. But we will help you with these during the induction, okay? We also have the free airport collection. So we will have a bus waiting for you in front of the terminal, and then you can get in this bus and they will bring you here to Galway, okay? The bus will most likely stop in Glasson Student Village, which is right in front of our campus, and it's probably 20 minutes walking from Courtnarassi. And if you need to go to the city center, there are buses right in front that you can go. It will take you probably 10 minutes, 15 minutes in the bus. Or if you want to walk, if you don't mind, you can also go walk into the city center. But in this case, it will be probably 30 minutes to 40 minutes walk. Okay, but it's also possible. It's a flat city, so you don't need to worry. You won't have any hills on the way. So you have these at 2nd of September, 6th of September, and 9th of September. If you want to join any of these, make sure your flight is coming at like before any of these times. And make sure you put these in the form that you need to answer, okay? Because if you submit the form saying that you do not require airport collection, we won't be considered that you will be joining. So once you arrive, it might not be possible for you to get the bus because it might be full and we won't have your name there, okay? So make sure you have that. And if you submitted already and you changed your mind and now you want the bus, that's not a problem at all. Just submit again, and we will consider the most recent one you submitted. Okay, so you have the QR code there. For other people that are arriving at different days or different times, or even if you don't want to take our bus, the most famous and the biggest company in Ireland that operates the route between Dublin and Galway, or Dublin and Mayo, will be CityLink. There are other bus providers, so you can choose which you prefer, but CityLink is the most famous and usually have the best fares for students. So to book that, you only go in that website, www.citylink.ie. If you are coming to Galway, you just select Galway. You have two options. You can select Galway ATU, so the bus really stops here in front of ATU, or you can select Galway Coach Station, which is in the city center. So if you are going to the city center, that's the best option. If you are going to Glaston, ATU will be the best stop for you. But even if you selected the city center and if you want to stop in HU, will be possible. The bus driver will stop here anyway, so you can change. You don't need to worry, okay? Because you don't have your student leap card yet, we'll be helping you to get this during our induction. You cannot get the student fare, okay? Because if you buy the student ticket, they might request it's called student leap card, and you won't have that, okay? So in this case, we got in touch with CityLink and they gave us this promo code, which is HUINT International 15, and they will be giving you 15% off on the adult fare, okay? So just make sure you select adult and you use this discount there.
So I'll be introduce our student union to you guys. So the student union is basically the voice of the students. So they represent students. So they speak for us. They speak if you have any issue, if you have a mental issue or academic issue or even financial issue, you can always come to the student union and then you can tell them and then they will speak for you. So Sarah will be the student union president for our upcoming year. And then so basically he represents the students and then he speak for us. And then Ryan will be the president of education. So basically he take care of all the academic stuff, like when's the exam, the schedules, and everything you have issue about the academic and then the studies, you can always find Ryan. And then Anu will be probably the one that you always will be finding because it supports the student well-being, and then if you have mental or physical health or even finance, so any like common issue that you will meet, you'll probably find Anu, and then Anu will help you to sort it out. And then Christina is the vice president of Mayo, so he kind of speaks for the our another campus, Mayo campus, studying Mayo campus, and also she also kind of deal with all the our club and society stuff. So I'll also introduce our club and society for you guys. So this will be kind of the main list of our club and society in the both campus. So we have more than just on this list. You can check it out on our website, but this is basically like the big club and society in our campus. So let's say in Galway, we have the archery, and they will teach you how to shoot the arrow, play archery, and they will also have competition on the first semester and then also at the second semester. So you can win some gifts when if you join the club and then you go to practice a day and then you might get a gift. And then we also have badminton, but I'll introduce you the International Students Society, which I'll handing over to my colleague, which is also the president of International Students Society, which is Gabriela, and then he will let you know about what we usually do in the society.
Oh, hi everyone. So I am the president of the International Society, and last academic year we did more than 40 events. So, and usually we do weekly events. So every Thursday we do an event, a different one. So we try to do one week board games, another week uh, donuts day that it's free. We give donuts to everyone. And we also have like karaoke, and we try to do also activities outside the campus, and usually we go like go-karting or like bowling. We do bubble football, and we always try to do something different and something new. So you are more than welcome to join us, and we'll be going over this on the induction. So we're gonna explain like how to apply and how to be a member, and we're gonna explain this for you guys on the induction. So you are more than welcome to join us. We'll be really glad if you did so, because we always have fun, and it's quite good for you to join us because like college can be sometimes stressful, and like to be able to go in the society and like release the stress and relax and talk to friends and make new friends, because you're gonna meet a lot of people from another country, from another years in the college. So it's very good for you guys to have this in mind. And also, the society, we're gonna do a trip for Cliff of Moher. So most of you already know because you already like bought the tickets. But just to make sure, we're gonna do on 9th of September. Uh, the date will be 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. or 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. In Galway campus, and we'll be leaving here from here. And if you didn't have submit your ticket yet, please do. We only have few spots because we are with a small bus, and then we managed to talk with the company to have a bigger bus. So now we have a bigger bus, but even though now we only have like 5 spots left, so if you didn't have your ticket yet and if you want to go, please fill the form and do your payment, because it's the first come first serve, so keep this in mind. Now, I want to talk about you guys, the international student program that we have here in ATU. That is a volunteer program that we bring 10 to 15 students that are like committed and engaged to help us, like to engage the international students here and represent like ATU here internally and externally, like on trips that we do. So you will be representing us, and those volunteers, they will be helping us like organizing events and having like ideas for new events or everything that we might need. They will be helping us, and it's a very good opportunity, so you can have like the hands-on and really help us. And the application will start probably the end of October, but this like to be confirmed. We'll be giving like the full details on the induction day, and also be able to have like exclusive like trips and events just for the ISAs as well, like the trip that we do, like a team building exercise that we did in Galway and in Mayo. So we bring all the teams, the ISAs from here, from Galway, because we have like Donegal, Sligo, and Galway. Each of these, they have the ISAs. So we bring all of them together and we do like a building exercise in Mayo. So it's a very good opportunity to have like everyone together. So please join us if you want to have that experience. And also this year we're gonna give the digital badge. So it's very good for you to put in your CV as well. And you can also, once you are international student ambassador, the ISA that we call, you will be able to apply for the next year for the senior position. The senior position, it's like me and Johnny. We are, it's like a paid role. So if you are ISA, you will be able to apply for this position. So you have like this kind of advantage. So you'll be able to be one of us next year if you wish for. Not next year, the following academic year. But just to make sure, this position here, the ISA, is a volunteer one. And we also have another program that's called Education in Ireland Student Ambassador Program. This program is recognized and made from the government of Ireland. And this program, it's mean like they will gather some students from all of Ireland, all of like the universities all of Ireland, and they will bring them together to represent your country and like your university in the program. So you'll be able to do like vlogs or blogs to show like your culture, to show your experience here in Ireland, so you can demonstrate everything like on this program. And you can also apply. Will be open the applications in early October, and you also have like some trips to, like, is a training day in Dublin. And you also have like the award ceremony. It's like a big ceremony that they do in the end of the program to give like the certificates to the candidates that are in this program. And usually it's like 2 to 4 candidates that we try to nominate. And last year we had 4. And if you want to know more about, you can just scan the QR code.
So yeah, just to highlight some of the key dates and events that you need to be aware of, and we will keep updating you as the time passes by, but we don't want to overload you with information either, and we realize that we've given you a lot of information, so don't be panicking yet. We can this information will be readily available for you to look at afterwards. We'll be uploading it to our pre-arrival website, so you'll be able to refer back to it. So don't panic. I know some of you are sending in a lot of queries in the chat. We will try to answer some of those queries as well. And some people will have to follow up with you by email. But yes, if you're waiting for visas, it's a tricky thing. But you still have to kind of make some plans, contingency plans, because if your visa is only approved at the very last minute, that's not going to give you enough time to make all of the necessary preparations. And certainly from an accommodation point, it is difficult. And yes, it's not ideal. People say, but how can I book this if I don't have that? Well, unfortunately, there are risks involved, so you have to take some risks, and it is tricky. But particularly with accommodation, you need to inquire to see if the deposit is refundable. But if you don't have something booked, you're in a very bad position, and it's really challenging. And for those as well who have IB results that have gone missing or are not their destination, I don't think that's a very difficult situation again, because IB seem to be tricky to deal with, that they'll only send the documents directly to us. But if we haven't got the documents, if we haven't received the documents, there's not much we can do. Once we receive them, we can take copies of them. We can send copies of them back to you, which might be helpful for you to have on record. But if we haven't received the documents ourselves, very little that we can do. So that is a tricky situation. But we will continue to try and answer some of your queries, even after this. Some of the key events that you need to be aware of in the academic calendar, obviously, George has mentioned the airport pickups. And just so you understand, we also need to have an indication of who wants to book the bus, because if you don't have the bus booked, then the bus will be full. And we've only got one bus on each day, so we've only got a certain amount of capacity. So that's why you need to book the bus. So if you leave it too late to book the bus, and I know that can be outside of your control, but we may not be able to facilitate you on the bus. But in that scenario, you can take the public bus. But the very latest is anybody inquiring or trying to book the bus for the free airport collection is a minimum notice period of 2 days. Anything after that, is too late. So you can see the 3 airport collection days there. On the 9th, obviously, is the Cliffs of Moher trip with the society, which you need to book directly with them. And as they mentioned, there's only a couple of slots left, and you need to pay for that. And obviously, there's a risk there of you losing your money, because they need a certain number of people, to make the trip feasible, and share the costs. So you have to book that. So if you want to book that, you still have time. The induction week, the 10th is our dedicated day for induction. So ideally, you need to be here for that in person to get the best out of it. If not, we will make it available through online, but there'll be some parts of the induction period that are just not going to be available online, and there's nothing that we can do about that. So really, the only people that shouldn't be at the induction on the 10th are people that have proved that they're still waiting for visas to come through. Everybody else should be at induction on the 10th. It is mandatory, non-negotiable, okay? The 11th and the 12th then are school inductions, and the 11th and the 12th, they will only be available in person. So if you're not there for those, there's no way to get those online. And then all you can do alternatively is to try and get information from the faculty. We'll try and put you in touch with the faculty and see can they give you some of the information that you have missed. Some of the student service inductions, which are also taking place on Wednesday and Thursday, they'll be available in our induction. And as I said earlier, that the induction and the arrival information will be available online as well. That will cover some of those elements. But for the pieces that you miss, that are not available online, we can only try to source that information from the faculties. And obviously some of the activities that, are obviously in-person activities, not conducive to online, there's nothing we can do. If you miss them, they can't be replaced. And then on the Friday, we have a trip to Mayo, which is mandatory for all students. And again, the only ones that should not be going to the trip to Mayo are people that their visas have not been approved yet. And then, most importantly, what you're all coming for is studies, and they start on the 16th of September. And there's only a couple of exceptions, start date of the 16th of September, and those include the MSc in Applied Marine Conservation, the MSc in Conservation Behaviour, and the Joint International Masters in Marine Biological Resources. And they all start on the 9th of September. Now, we will be communicating with the Faculty of Science to see can they allow you to join some of our mandatory induction events on the 10th of September, because obviously there's a clash with your classes from those programs. But you can take it that your programs are starting a bit earlier, okay, on the 9th. But for everyone else, the only other exception then is the MA in Creative Practice, and I think we have a couple of international students for that. That program usually starts on the 1st of October. But just note that arriving on later in October because you think that program it starts later is not a good idea, because accommodation will not be available. There'll be other complications. So even if your program starts on the 1st of October, you should still be here for induction on the 10th of September. And then, of course, there is a treasure hunt, and this is one of the most exciting things. I mentioned it earlier, and Gabriella mentioned it. This is one of the most exciting activities that we have every year, and it's really your opportunity to get familiar with our beautiful city. And we encourage all the students to take part in the treasure hunt of our city. And you can see there on the schedule as well. There's some other events that are important, like the student ambassadors running some workshops on the 20th in relation to Student Leap Card, which is the card to give you access to cheaper transport, public transport across the city. And then there'll be other workshops throughout the term about finding a part-time job, and so on and so forth. There'll be a variety of them. But this is just a very small flavour of what's happening. But it is really important that you are present here on the 10th of September for induction, if possible, because it's a mandatory activity unless your visa hasn't been approved yet. And then we will need to ensure you complete the visa form, the visa survey that we sent, because we will need to communicate with all the visa people who haven't got visas yet, because that's going to be a complicated issue, and we need to work through what's the likelihood of you getting a visa in time, for the 30th of September, because after that date, then, there's nothing more we can do. So we will need to have more communication with those people that are pending visas. And I've already mentioned this day, and Gabriella's mentioned it, and it's really just a fun, a day filled with activities and fun, kind of ice-breaking activities. And, you can see there some of the imagery. It's quite active, using some of our really unique facilities on the Mayo campus, which are set up for the outdoor education program. And some of these activities in the morning will be facilitated by the faculty from the outdoor education program. So I know that, some of our students going to Mayo and our exchange students going to Mayo, they will particularly enjoy that. And it's an opportunity for you to see another one of our campuses in a really beautiful location. And most importantly, it's free. And we will be having a really exciting dining experience before we leave the campus, which is facilitated by the outdoor education faculty. And it's going to be free food, but they're really going to focus in on, how food plays such an important part of our life, and how outdoor play plays such an important part in our life, and how it can play a pivotal role in the learning journey and learning process, taking, kind of new pedagogical, innovations into account. So, it will be an enjoyable and educational day, and kind of allowing you to explore a bit of the beautiful tourism that the west of Ireland and Mayo has to offer. And there again is our treasure hunt, that I mentioned. This is going to be a really exciting activity, and the most exciting part of the treasure hunt is that it culminates, in a party at the end of the treasure hunt, and hopefully, if you follow the trail correctly, the treasure hunt will lead you to the party, which is very much a surprise. It's a very confidential. We can't share those details with you yet, but it will be exciting. And every year, we try to improve and make changes to this experience. And for many people that we speak to, going back over the years, this was the highlight of their experience, of the onboarding experience at Atlantic Technological University and our beautiful city. So we really encourage you to take part in this. And like, remember, this happens at a stage, when the academic, load and the syllabus and the curriculum hasn't got too intense, and it's best to do it when you first arrive, before you get into the real serious academic stage in the year. So that looks like it's going to be really good fun. And Gabriella and Lee, are going to be the coordinators of this event. So if anything goes wrong, you can blame them. But it is good fun. It's a little bit chaotic, and that's what makes it also fun. So we hope that you enjoy that. And if you see in the image there, there's people standing. There's a standing on a tree. So you just need to make sure you don't fall off anything. We don't want dangerous behavior or activities during the treasure hunt. So I do not endorse that guy standing on that tree.
So, good morning, everyone. My name is Stephanie. I'm from a small tropical island in the Indian Ocean called the Seychelles. And I'm currently studying my Bachelor of Science in Business Information Systems. Coming to Ireland has been a roller coaster journey. During the first couple of months, it was really difficult for me coming from a tropical country. And here the weather is really cold. I was really struggling. I would advise anyone coming from a tropical country to pack extra clothes because it's really, really cold here, especially after October to mid-November. But during the first week of September, it's quite warm. It's quite okay. My overall experience in living in Ireland, it has been okay so far. The locals are really friendly and they are always willing to help. Everyone is really approachable and they go out of their way to really help you enjoy this experience. Even the lecturers here are really helpful. They go out of their way to help you to do really well in your academics and your studies. They're really, really good. And I would advise you all to adjusting to living in Ireland. It's not that difficult for me in a way, like especially the food. The food are really good, especially the famous fish and chips. But I would advise that you guys like start making friends with international students in your village, like especially if some of you are living in Glasan. I would advise that you all like make a group and just hang out in the village to try and know each other. That way you won't feel lonely in the village in Ireland, so you can catch up with people from different cultures. So that way you don't just you feel included. Yeah. And tips on academics, I would say that coming to Ireland, you should balance your academics and social life. It's essential to your holistic development during your educational journey. To excel academically while maintaining your rich social life, it's crucial to establish like a structured schedule as you don't want to be cramming up with lots of homeworks and assignments by the end of the month. I would advise like prioritizing tasks by using tools like to-do list or digital planner. This can help you manage time effectively and prevent last minute cramming and allowing you for more relaxed social engagements. I would also advise you guys to take advantage of study groups and by using the use of the library facilities on campus, as it can help you understand of the material while fostering relationships with your peers, your classmates, and making your studying more enjoyable and collaborative. It's also beneficial to set aside dedicated downtime to connect with friends and whether casual or meeting ups or group activities or just simply unwinding together these moments can enhance your mental being and provide necessary breaks from academic pressures. And engaging in extracurricular activities like clubs such as the International Student Society, which I joined last year. And I also joined the International Student Ambassador, the Education in Ireland. Joining these groups have really helped me to meeting new friends and coping with the stress of being here alone in the country alone. So I was able to manage my homesickness by meeting new friends. This really helps you. Just to manage your homesickness, you can just decorate your room with familiar things from home and scents from home, or by just cooking familiar cookings from home. This can really help with homesickness. And traveling around Ireland it can be not that difficult as mostly I use Google Maps. That's really helpful. And Some of you guys can also use the Transport for Ireland TFI, which I think later you guys can have so much more details about that. It is your young adult and student leave card. You can get a 50% discount. And this you guys can use to travel to college and back from college, whether you're living to accommodation that's far away from college. So you can get that student leave card, but I think you guys can get some details about that later on during your induction. Things that I wished I knew while coming to Ireland, um, especially if you guys are moving to new accommodation, you will need stuff like duvets, pillows, and mattress protectors. I recommend that you buy your stuff from Dawn store. There's a Dawn store in Galway. I think on Fridays it closes at 8 p.m. And if any of you guys are living in Crete or Rasai, you can use the Dons in Briar Hill. I think it closes at 10 p.m. on Fridays. The qualities of the stuff are really good at Don's. I highly recommend that you guys can get your room essentials from Don's, especially your duvets, your mattress protectors, and pillows. Other than that, I think you guys are gonna have a great time in Ireland. I mean, college is a time for exploration and stepping outside of your comfort zone, which can lead to unexpected friendships and memorable adventures. You need to attend events and join activities. This will help you during your academic journeys to help develop your communication skills and to meet new friends and to engage in diverse groups of people to broaden your social horizons. Don't be afraid to learn about other people's cultures. It's quite interesting. Finally, I would like to say that remember to savor every moment while coming here. College is not just about the grades and networking. It's also about personal growth, discovering your passions, and creating memories. And embrace the journey, both the highs and the lows, and use the experience as a stepping stones towards your future. And go to the Cliffs of Moher because I went last year with Gabriela. It was really fun. I would advise you guys to go and just have fun, enjoy all the clubs. And yeah, I hope you guys have a good time and enjoy your stay at Ireland. If you need any help or want someone to talk to a previous students, you guys can ask your questions and I can be there to help you. Thanks.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm Zifong. I'm from the beautiful country of Malaysia, and I'm currently studying my Bachelor of Science in Medical Science. And my experience studying in Ireland is fun. Like, in summary, it's fun. A lot of fun. Like, I've never really, thinking back to my 1 year experience in Ireland, I don't recall a lot of. I've made a lot of like unforgettable moments. Maybe some uh a lot of them involve me making new friends, always meeting new people. And in the 1 year of me being in Ireland, I've explored a lot of beaches, hiking mountains in the Connemara National Park that Jojo mentioned just now, and also like going to beaches and like enjoying the sunsets, uh, especially during the spring and summer. And uh, the landscape and the scenery in Ireland is actually really, really beautiful. I don't think you can get these kind of like sceneries anywhere else in the world. So I hope you guys will take the opportunity to kind of get out of your like of your phones and like devices and explore the country because it's really, really beautiful. And also in terms of academic, the lecturers are especially helpful, and if you are very eager to learn, then they will never say no to helping you out. And you can always like if you're shy to ask in class, you can always email them and they will also respond very, very quickly and very, very helpfully. So don't be shy when asking your lecturers, be friends with them. They are very, very nice people. And also in terms of my classmates and the people in Ireland, everyone there is just so, so helpful and friendly. And I've never actually experienced a bad experience in terms of socializing with people. even in pubs at night, or like just like having a walk downtown. It just casually, people will just casually walk up to you and ask about your whereabouts, and it's a lot of fun. And my advice for incoming students is, don't be afraid to make the first move when it comes to making friends and connecting with other people. I used to be very shy, but I realized that by stepping out of my own comfort zone, I've gained a lot more. So I advise everyone to kind of step out of your own comfort zone, take the first step, say hi, introduce yourself, and after that, the rest will be history, and you have a lot of good time there. So yeah, that's all from me.
Hi everyone. It's just very important just to make sure that you read all your emails both before you arrive. So please keep a check on your emails for important communication from ourselves from the ATU Global Office. So we will be sending you important information just about induction, airport pickups, and registration. So please keep a check on that. And then once you arrive in Ireland and attend your induction and that kind of thing, we will be sending any kind of important information. It will be sent to your ATU student email. So it's very important that you keep a check on your email, that you check your emails every day. So we won't be emailing you private to your personal private Gmail or Yahoo email address. So it's once you're a registered student, all communication will then be sent to your ATU student email. So it's just very important that you keep in contact with us and you're communicating with us and you check your emails regularly.
Yeah, well, look, I suppose communication is key. Thanks, Elaine, and thanks to everybody. Thanks to all my colleagues who have helped prepare for today's session. And I hope that we've addressed some of your queries throughout the slides and the chat itself. It's not always straightforward, and it's a big, leap in one's life to consider going overseas, and considering and doing it are two different things. And there's a lot of challenges, but I think it's very much rewarding. And when you hear Stephanie and Zifeng, yeah, you can see like that it is rewarding and it is worth it. And anything that's not difficult or challenging or hard work, generally, not as rewarding. So, it's not worth it. If you don't have to work hard, if there's not a difficult period, well, then you're not learning as much, and it's not as rewarding. So, I can assure you that we're all really excited about seeing you come to this beautiful country and this beautiful part of the world. And I know our entire team has worked hard, throughout the year to deal with some of your queries. And, we apologize if we haven't dealt with them to your satisfaction, but we're doing the best we can. And we will be following up with you afterwards if there's any outstanding queries, particularly in relation to, the accommodation, in relation, to visas. That is the trickiest outside of our control, but we will do our best. And we just need you to, be as prompt as you can in terms of giving us accurate information. When we request something, that you complete the forms, please complete the forms, and do it carefully. That's really important. And the communication that Elaine mentioned, it's crucial. If people don't communicate with us while they're here, you're going to be lost in the system and you'll miss important deadlines. Like, for example, booking your immigration appointment. Every year we have people who don't take that seriously. And, you can't work part-time if you don't have your immigration, appointment and your IRP card. So, that's what I always call a chicken and egg scenario. So you need to be very, detail oriented, emails, and absolutely follow us on social media. Social media is becoming a very important informal way for us to communicate, but also we want to be able to share the experiences that you're having, and share those experiences with the community here in Galway and Mayo, and also share the experience with some of your friends back at home and your family back at home. They want to see you having a good time. So we would like you to start following our Instagram and Facebook accounts, ATU Global Galway, and start sharing your arrival experiences as well, and tag us in ATU Global Galway. All of that is going to lead to, an enhanced experience for everybody. And like, if we summarize again where we're at, you've met some of the members of our team here. You're going to meet some of them again, you know, when you arrive. Lee and Gabriella have put a lot of effort and work into preparing the arrival guides for you and the info packs. So please use those. And read them in detail, because some people are sending us queries, and look, we don't mind people that happen to repeat things, but some of the queries have been answered, and some of the information is in the arrival pack and is in the info pack. So please do look through the details in those packs, because you know we put a lot of effort together to prepare them for you. And obviously you need to be aware of the differences between the locations, especially, you know, if you're studying in Connemara, it's going to be different than studying in Galway City. And if you're studying in Castlebar, it's going to be different than studying in Galway. If you're studying in the School of Design and Creative Arts in Galway, it's going to be different than studying, you know, on the other campus in Galway City. So, you know, these are all the things that you need to get your head around and start preparing for. We've given you a brief introduction to our university and, you know, the transition and the changes that we've gone through over the years. But, you know, we've been in existence for over 50 years, you know, so we have a very proud tradition of education. And we want to continue that. And internationalization and having international students here is a really important part of that, not only for us, but also for our regional stakeholders. It's really important for them as well. And I'm sure you've investigated this as part of your research. Ireland has a really, you know, kind of a dynamic, you know, ecosystem for innovation, for healthcare, for software development. You know, there's so much buzzing kind of activity happening, and there's lots of employment here, skilled employment. And some of you may be thinking about having a career and living in Ireland long term. You know, and that is a possibility, not for everybody, but it's a possibility for some of you. And you need to, you know, plan out your journey from day one as to what are your aspirations, what are you hoping to achieve, and don't lose sight of that from day one. Don't lose sight of what that goal is from day one, because you need to work hard to try and, you know, realize those goals and objectives. And getting to know people, networking in Ireland is really important. Like, nobody completes a degree in Ireland and then just walks into employment. Doesn't work like that. You have to work really hard. You have to network. You have to develop your communication, networking skills. You have to work closely with the careers office. You have to go to careers events. You know, you have to showcase to employers your skills that make you attractive. And what I'm telling you is that there's many employers in Ireland that want people from diverse backgrounds. They want a diversity of skills, and they're looking for people with a really strong work ethic. So just bear that in mind. Don't lose sight of what your goals are coming here. Obviously, we don't want people to get sick when you come here, but that's a part of life. We can't control getting sick. So you need to understand that there are differences between the healthcare system in your country and our country. And, you know, we can help you navigate that, but you need to become familiar with the system, and you just need to accept it for what it is, and to prepare for that. Pre-arrival, you know, even when I travel anywhere in the world, I always find that, you know, the more research I do in advance makes the arrival experience, you know, less stressful. So we don't want you to be arriving, we want you to be excited, but we don't want you to be overly stressed. So that's why we have prepared the pre-arrival requirements to make it easier for you. And okay, may not be possible for you to take some of the free airport buses that we've ordered, because of visas or whatever, but you know, we would encourage you to get on those buses if possible, because it's a really good start, and you get to meet other people on the bus who are also coming to share a similar experience to you. And if you can't do that, as George mentioned, we have that discount with CityLink, so it makes it, you know, affordable for you to come down as well. Accommodation obviously is really important. Something to bear in mind is that the first year before you come to Ireland is the most difficult year to get accommodation, because you're not here. You don't get a chance to do your own research. But from the second year onwards, you have much more control over your options, and you can research your own options, and you can move accommodation after the first year. But the first year is obviously the most difficult one, because you don't have as many options, but you need for safe to stay, and obviously that's a requirement of moving to a different country. But just bear in mind that if you're not happy with your accommodation at the end of year one, you know, well, you might decide that, you know, halfway through your first year. You can change and you can make plans, and it's much easier to make those plans when you're physically in the country. Online registration obviously is really important because we want people to be able to access the materials that they need for their classes. So that's why following the instructions as outlined earlier in the presentation are really important. And again, I'm reiterating that these slides and the recording of this meeting will be available on the pre-arrival section of our website. So you have to go back and look at it. If you're unsure, please do. You don't need to worry about your immigration appointments now, but just bear in mind you can't start working part-time until you have your immigration appointment and you get your IRP card in the post. So what that means is it's really important that you get all of your other documentation and information in line to make sure that there's no delay with your immigration appointment. So like that's the mention of opening bank accounts, lodging money into your we are going to try and secure some traditional bank account appointments with one of our local banks here, but we haven't that confirmed yet. As soon as that's confirmed, we will let you know. It will only be a limited number of slots. But my colleague George has mentioned earlier, there's other banks where you don't need, they're more digital banks that you don't need an IRP card to open them up. But you know that may not be suitable for everybody. So we will be in touch about that with more information lately. And Student Union, you know, and student services, they play an important part in your overall student journey. So it is important that you become familiar with those unions, that you participate in those, and you feel that you have a voice that within the student community. That is important. And of course, our student ambassadors, and especially our international student ambassadors, they're your first port of call, really. If you have anything that you need to discuss that maybe you feel you can't discuss with some of the rest of the team, and you prefer to discuss it with an international student ambassador, you can do that, and then they can, discuss the topic with us as well. So they're a very useful resource, and they're students as well, so they understand it from your perspective. And sometimes, we might miss things that are important to you because, we're staff and we're not students, so we don't understand. So we're really proud of our student ambassador program. You have to get involved in student life if you're going to have a really positive experience. You're going to assimilate to life in Ireland. You have to join clubs and societies. You have to have interests. If you don't have interests, if you don't have hobbies, if you don't have stuff that excites you outside of the classroom, your life is going to be very difficult. So it's an essential part of the student experience. So we encourage you, even if it's pushing you outside your comfort zone, you have to try to push yourself out of that comfort zone, because you need to become part of something, and you need to be connecting with other people that have similar interests to you. And you'll see when the Clubs and Societies Day is advertised, we'll be sharing that with you. There is something there for everybody, okay? So we advise everybody to be a member of at least one club or society. And I obviously hope that every single last one of you will become active members of our International Society, which is one of the most active societies in the university. And the academic calendar, we'll be updating that over time, because we don't want you to get, distracted. But the academic calendar is important because, for example, you need to know, when you've got class time. You need to know, for example, when your immigration appointments are. You need to know not to be booking part work when you're meant to be somewhere else. Okay, and that's really important. If there's a careers day on campus, and if you're interested in employment, it's important that you get to that careers event. And some of the most successful students that I've seen, even if they were doing a 4-year degree program, they still went to the careers events in year 1. That's how seriously they took it. And those are the people that did really well, in terms of their career here. So that's important. And in terms of the academic calendar, this is a topic that, is stressful every year for everybody, that exam timetables are released very late at the start of the semester. So most people won't have an academic, they won't have a timetable, until the 16th of September. You might get it a day before, a day after. And even then, you have to be aware that that timetable will definitely change. And it will probably change 2 or 3 times. So that's why sometimes people make a mistake, that they're not constantly going back into the website and updating their academic timetable. You need to, for the first 2 to 3 weeks, you need to be checking that timetable every day to make sure that there's no changes, because it's not an excuse that you missed a class because you didn't check your timetable and there was a change in the timetable. That's not an excuse, okay? And you have your phone. Everybody has their phones and the internet. It's so easy to check that every day. It's not a big task. And then the communication is key. And remember, We have a physical office, ATU Global, and during the induction we'll be explaining to you where it is, and we have these maze map system as well across the campus, which will be very useful, and we'll be going through that during the induction, and that will make it easy for you to navigate from different offices on campuses, like the Google Maps, but it's specific for our campus facilities, and it will allow you to get to different places, and we'll show you how to use that. But don't forget, we have a physical office on campus, and we want people to come and visit it, okay, to see us and raise any questions with us. Email is the formal way of communicating, but we're also open for you to come to the office and to have a chat if there's any difficulties. Yes, we won't be there all of the time, but if it's an important matter, you're better to email us in advance and to arrange a meeting so that there's no confusion, and so that you're not wasting time trying to find us and you can't find us, because we can be busy as well. But we want to help you to have the best start to this journey as possible. And I think that's all is left for me to say, really, that, you know, we've tried our best to prepare this information to help you. We hope that it gives you some comfort in terms of your preparation, and we honestly hope that you're excited about coming to what I consider one of the best countries in the world, but obviously I am somewhat biased being from this beautiful country. So what I would say to you now is in our own native language is Slán go fóill and Gora Míle Maithagad, which means thank you very much for your time and patience. And with that, the one last thing I'll say is that Irish people are not very good with languages. So please understand when you come here that Irish people will not be very good at understanding your languages. So that's just something you have to accept. And I'm sure some of you are finding it difficult to maybe understand my accent and some of my colleagues' accents. But I assure you, something that will become easier over time.